Chat. So I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna share this stream. It'll be the first stream I shared. Okay. Hey there, Spurs fans. Hey, sure. Streaming dev now. Alright. So yesterday had a good amount of progress, I think. I was pretty happy with it. I got my standing desk, which is just chef's kiss. Um, so let's have a quick squiz. Uh, so I wonder what's your take on the Jazz? I think it's pretty cool. I've started developing after 1 week of streaming streamer's personality, where I'm sort of like kind of hyperbolic. I've been using my streaming voice in our stand-ups. Just streaming live. I'm dedicated to it. Oh, shit. Crash Unity, Crash Unity, off to a good start. Okay. Look, we'll worry about. We'll worry. Those levels. Sexy enough for you? I don't want to get drowned out by that smooth jazz. Alright, so Crash Unity. Not off to the best start. That's okay. Yesterday I got the finger trails actually feeling really good. I'm stoked to have a good win. It's good to be productive. It's good having this actually. This kind of like focuses the energy a little bit. I wonder if I should talk to the camera. I'm looking at myself. I guess so. I'm doing the intro. Welcome to Sam's morning stream. Hey there, streamers. I got a big ball. I got one of these ergonomic chairs. I got a regular chair. I got it all. All right, we're live. We're rolling. Take two. Hey, how you going? Hey, everybody. Hey out there in streaming land. All right, you can edit the rest. So yesterday we had some success with the finger trails. I think I call them done. Today I'm going to work on the sound because I forgot how horrible it is. I'm not sure the best way to do it though, because at the moment the way it works is let's see if this crashes Unity again. Well, I'll talk you through what I'm doing. At the moment, the way the sound works is what does it do? It lerps up the volume based on when a collision starts. Which I don't think is very good. Because then when you pull out, it's just like it just stops. An idea I'm having as I'm talking about it is maybe because what it does at the moment, there's this weird thing. I shouldn't call it weird because I did it. You get the idea. Um, time to. It does this weird thing where the sensors are attached by joints to the fingers, and the joints are based on the sensor's distance from the joint, because that's how you kind of keep something attached without making go bananas, is it changes the pitch. But that could probably change the volume instead, I think. I definitely think. And then the pitch could come from speed. Well, it looks like, hey there, Sam. Because then you're like, shh, shh, shh. All right. So do I have an audio section? Oh no, do not remove search mode. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. Hey, where's my webcam? Ah, people gotta have the cam. All right, hang on. Hey, we're back. Camera's flipped again. All right. That slurping noise. I'm sorry. I listened to my stream yesterday. I mumbled constantly. The last 20 minutes is essentially indecipherable. And my coffee is as loud as anything else. It's the loudest part of the stream. So I got to do this as well. Look. I'm actually not like an excitable dork. I just do that when I'm nervous. I'm actually quite dour and melancholic. Um, or I usually sort of like land somewhere in between. All right, smooth out sound. Let's work on that. Assign it to me. Oh, I'll assign it to Chloe, my partner. You can see that? Yeah, cool. Also need to lerp out the what? Lerp out the. Well, that'll just do everything. I guess on exit. It'll turn it off. I guess. Let's have a look. So I already had a different. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry. You're sorry. Flip horizontal. It's that way. Flip vertical. Is this reversed? I don't know how to tell. Currently working on. How good's my fucking stream skills? Currently working on making a nice juicy sound response. Let's put some stretch goals in. Actually, I'm gonna okay. Get so uh, touchable has audio clips as so. Um, sure, thanks Google. Google's writing my code. Audio turns on. Get the audio clip. If null uses default, it's cool. So then I can make different sounds. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Is each object has its own brushing sound or like a touching sound. Maybe they combine. Maybe they combine. Sound design is by far my favorite part of the development. I was a musician for quite a long time. because you don't never really stop being a musician, you just stop making music. Okay, let's see if this works while we're at it. In the right view, we're about to be. Stream view. If anyone's watching at home, I don't have the chat open because I don't. It makes me nervous because you see the 0 views and you're like, oh, that's sad. You feel like a loser. Or you see someone come in and you get all like loopy about it because you're like, oh shit, someone's here. I better what? You know, like, okay. So a few other things we're going to be doing. So right now I'm just going to test this to see if it works. That looks good. That looks good. Hey, there we go. You can see what I can see. So I'll switch the sound sources for a second. That looks really good though. It actually feels good too. I could probably smooth out the members a little bit. I'm gonna switch the audio so that it is. No. How would I do this? So you'll hear the audio. I won't, but I know that it sounds bad. Headphones. So I'm just gonna have to see if this. We're gonna have to come up with a way for you to hear the Oculus audio. We won't get very far. Oh, hang on, save. Right. That's weird, it's working now. Oh, it's the jazz. That's good though. I guess maybe you guys won't be able to hear it unless I don't know what I gotta do. Alright, so you're gonna get jazz in the microphone now, which isn't ideal. Okay, that's alright. I got a plan. I know what I can do. Let's get it all in the AIs again. Alright, get you guys that jazz, but we'll probably might have to park the jazz for a bit. Anyway, feels good. It's a really good start. So if you're doing something that you're building with VR SDK and you want to stop it from going into VR mode automatically, add the none SDK, your none, and that way it'll preference not go into VR first, which is very handy. So once again, I will just show off my incredible Unity view. I don't know why I'm upside down. Transform, flip vertical, there we go. So this is Ultimate Unity view. Game mode here. What is really handy is having the project view here and the hierarchy here. It's very useful. Okay, so we're gonna turn this jazz off because you can't hear it. Why waste good jazz on deaf ears? That's what my dad always used to say at the jazz club. All right, am I mumbling again? I'm mumbling again, aren't I? Okay, so I think, I hope we will hear this horrendous racket. No, no audio listener. The old chestnut. Oh, there we go. There it is. Did that come through? Hang on. Get out of here, Jazz. Which feels like an OBS sort of like. Okay. Here we go. All right. So this is the current audio mix. So it's changing. It does a few funny things that all suck. So it changes the pitch based on the speed of the hand, which I thought was a great idea, and probably is a good idea. Some of these things you'll have a hypothesis and be like, all right, that's cool. But what happens is, as a result, is it creates this sort of like weird like car engine revving. I assume I did the speed like a buffer, or something, knowing me. Some totally complicated way of doing it. Anyway, I won't talk. Listen to the sound of the pitch going up as the speed goes up. Screech! I'm gonna make it like a hand racing game. Oh, and he's going around the red block, and he's going around the blue block. Yeah, sucks. It's terrible. So I think we just scrap it all. I'll show you the code. We'll go through the code. It's time to code. That's exciting. Go into code mode. Close all these. Yeah, my code reviews have become. Does anyone else do code reviews by just screen capping them? It's just easier. We're all remote now, and it's like I'm still kind of figuring out how to be a good like. I don't like the word boss. I'm not an anarchist, but I'm anti-hierarchy um, guide. Or am I anti-hierarchy? I always say that, but then I'm like, I love rules. I just love rules that everyone agrees on together democratically. And sometimes everyone agrees on a bit of a hierarchy. And some people like other people to decide what to do. And most of the time, what I do, my management style is to ask everyone what they think should get done and get everyone to agree on it, and then ask them about it over and over again, um, and facilitate conversations around it. So I'm mumbling and it's irrelevant. Those are my three things. So I watched the other stream. I don't know what I'm optimizing for. It's also talk about how no one's watching the stream. I guess it doesn't matter because no one's watching the stream, but it just seems a bit bleak. But mumbling, irrelevant, and then doing these little soliloquies on the side don't seem that interesting. Um, okay, sensor. So this mega sensor which should get broken up. It's like a bank. It's got a monopoly on my information. Okay, so handle roughness audio. I think we can just scrap that. I think we need roughness on it. Let's try a different approach. Um, Public void handle handle roughness audio pressure. So we're using pressure to create roughness. And then I think we could probably keep the speed pitch thing. I like that. Um, if target rough is greater than 0, play. And wouldn't it be greater than 0? Start rough equals audio rough dot volume. And I don't think we want to do that. So what are we doing here? Audio turns on, gets audio clip. Let's not worry about that. Checks distance between joint and sensor to get volume. So actually, I'm already getting pressure. Maybe this should return float. Float. Return roughness. Distance from sensor. Anyone knows why IAIs just seem. Oh, I don't know if it's the IAIs. Something's fucking with my headphones. I don't understand. We're back. I don't know if this is possible, but I feel like I have an electromagnetic field. Watch out, David Dick, here I come. I think I have an electromagnetic field that actually interferes with my with my Bluetooth systems and frequencies. Okay. Smooth out sound. What do you guys think about sharing this on Facebook? I'm gonna do it. All right. Whew. Okay, that's all. Um, that's pretty scary. This is the first time I've actually shared the stream at all. My heart is palpitating. Pomodoro started. Um, I guess, yeah, I guess let's keep going. Okay, so public float, get pressure, so distance from sensor. So it gets the distance from the sensor, gets the magnitude. Super simple. Um, uh, get pressure normalized. So when we normalize something, we assume a range and then create, essentially get a number within that range as a percent, which we call it 0 to 1. I don't know if that's real. um, Public float pressure range. It's just a term that me and the guy that I have worked with basically taught me how to code use for creating a 0 to 1 value. So I said about 5 centimeters, which works out to be about 0.05 in weld space. Okay, so get pressure normalized. And maybe what we can do is get the roughness, can set the starting volume, the target volume. Get pressure does not exist in the context. Get pressure normalized. Okay, maybe we can bring back some of that jazz until it's time for the. Come on, Facebook. Come on, YouTube. Don't be like that. Hey, you can press spacebar to pause and play in YouTube, and you can press K to do something. I can't remember what. I remember being like, wow, Hey there, everybody, tuning in to Samland. Today we're gonna try and smooth out this touch so it feels good when you put your hand on the wood. Okay, so back to it. Handle roughness audio. You know, let's just start simple. don't think we need any of this for now. So let's just, yeah, you know what, start from scratch. So I'm going to be looking at my notes, which you can't see. That's right. Get pressure normalized. Let's say, let's create a float, target volume, float, target volume. And this we can modify, and something's rougher, maybe it can have a higher target volume, or something like that, so that it goes higher. So now we'll just bake it into about -20. So it's Unity does volume in decibels. So -20 is like, I can hear it, it'll do. So volume equals get pressure normalized times target volume. So that's the really cool thing about, okay, so let's play. Normalized values, or call them percentages, is you can then use them to drive any number between its range relative to shift in something else's range. That's why we call it normalizing, I think, because it's normalizing two different values. So the pressure is a distance between 0 and 5 centimeters, and the volume is a except it's negative. That's all right, we'll figure that out in a second. The volume is a range between -80 and -20. So I'll actually have to do a bit of extra math for that now to think about it. The pressure normalized volume. What's volume, Sam? Audio volume. All right. Okay, we passed the audio. Audio rough. Okay, cool. I clicked too much. My computer froze. Oh, okay. I searched the metadata by accident. Okay, how do we make 0 to 1 match -20 to 80? So target volume is -20. I'm gonna break this down for fun. So, we could just subtract. Okay, so that's fucking dumb. So let's say we want to start at -80 and move to 20. We times 100 by 1 and then subtract 100. Yeah. So target volume, we need to add 100 to? Sounds dumb. Okay, so I want it to be -20 is the max. Yeah, I guess it's just offset by 100, because the thing is, it'd be different if it was like weird back and fronty, negative-y, positive-y kind of stuff. Obviously, genius at maths. But it's really just an offset. I don't know why they didn't just make volume start at 0. I guess because what's 0? Nothing. You're in space. Yeah. I think it's just lazy science. Right, let's see what happens. So target volume plus 100. Hey, I want it to be -20. Okay, cool. Well, in that case, we think you want it to be 80. So we'll go 0 to 80. So if it's 50%, it's 40. And then we'll subtract 100, which means it'll be -40. Okay, we have to make a fake slider. Public math without having to go into VR. Public float fake target. Equals -20 f range. No, what do we do? Range -80, -20. So this will expose a slider in Unity that will let us, you know what? I'm going luxury glasses mode. Hey, no, I'm getting serious. It's not look like the same glasses, but they're slightly different. One helps me. What's wrong with that? I don't need that. That's spicy. And that'll expose this fake target. You know what we'll do is we'll go public float. Fake target. How does get set work? Normally I would just guess this. Well, not guess, but I sort of trial and error a rough idea of it, and it usually ends up working. I'm just gonna do that. You guys can just, who am I trying to impress? Audio.volume get pressure normalized times target volume plus 100. Minus 100. So it offsets, when it's normalizing it, it offsets it, it offsets 100, and then it cancels out that offset on the normalization. We'll see. Let's just see if it works or not. So what should happen is that when it's touching, the different distance will be basically 0. So the target volume will essentially be 0. But when the pressure's on, the distance will be, let's say, 100% of the maximum distance. So that'll say, all right, well then when at -20. Let me enter this debug code. Let's pause this smooth jab. Hey, cool cats, we're just gonna test out our little thing, so we're gonna have to put a stop to that jazz. Handle roughness, audio pressure. So that just happens on, does it need to know? I guess it knows its own joints and stuff. Hey, it's good code. So basically this happens as the collision continues. So on collision stay, hey there, cool cats. Oh. Cool, it sounds perfect. Okay, so that volume is at 0. Okay, so we can lock that. So volume. No, you know what? It's because it's also getting lerped down and stopped and all this other shit as well. So, okay, here we go. Handle new touch, cancel that. Handle end touch. What do you rough dot stop? Sure, whatever. So I've been doing this session every morning now for a couple of weeks. Oh, okay. So good news is that Unity's volume is just a 0 to 1 value, so I don't have to do any of this hokey pokey shit. That's cool. So audio volume is just pressure normalized, so I don't need any of this. We could probably put a target volume modifier or something like that in there. So this is just going to return, based on the distance between the finger and the touch point, it'll return a 0 to 1 value. Because yeah, don't worry about it. I feel like I'll keep trying to explain how normals work with this uncertainty that I'm actually just, am I talking about something real? You know what? And it's condensing play on each frame, which we don't want. The other thing I need to do is get a better sound clip, because right now the sound clip has its own peak, which I guess I'll do next. Cool. The pitch is definitely changing to range. Sounds a bit like a jet. So what that means though is maybe just needs to be capped. It's dumb. It feels like a jet engine. That's not right. I guess maybe I should try it in headset because there's a big difference between moving something around with a mouse and moving a hand. Let's maybe park that pitch for the moment. The rate of change check, which we can also park. Skeeter. What does that mean? Oh yeah, I thought this looked like a mosquito. We don't need this get pressure normalized to get run here either. And reactor properties doesn't do anything. Yeah, not yet. Leave that there. That can be an aspirational method. How are we doing for time? We're doing pretty good. Okay. So I don't think it needs to stop like that. Well, I think we need to have it stop more gracefully, handler and touch. I'm not gonna use any of this, so I'm gonna put it down out of the way. Why did I write so much code? No, I just zoomed in. Whatever, fuck it. Handle, what do I call this one here? Handle roughness, audio pressure. F2, handle roughness, handle touch, start pressure. Okay, so if you really cool thing Visual Studio can do, if you use F2, you can refactor by like changing the name of the you change the name of something and it changes the name of all the instances of it. Super handy. Public void handle touch end pressure. So we don't want it to just cut off. Look, I'm gonna go have a coffee. Well, go make a coffee. I've already made a coffee. I just have to pour it. So I'm going to please wait. We will resume normal programming in in 5. Make it look like it's a countdown. Be back. Be back. I'll leave you with some smooth jazz. Hey there, groovy cats. We are and always will be until we are not anymore. Oh, hang on. What's going on there? Camera one. All my cameras have stopped working. There we go. All right, we're back. So, a little update for anyone following along at home. Currently trying to get a pressure to drive the volume of the sound coming out of a brush, the brushing motion. Um, and that definitely feels, or it looks like it feels a lot better. What I'm actually going to do is test it out in headset, so you won't be able to hear that, but you'll have to believe me in that case. Um, and where we're up to is that as you pull away, it just stops. We want it to be like, it's funny, like, that's not how sound works in real life, you know. Sound stops when you stop, but it's just, you got to paint the cow, as I say, and don't explain anymore because it's not funny and it confuses people. So let's have a look at where we were up to. That's not what we're doing. Maybe I should have these cameras flipped so that it looks like I'm switching. All right, what's over here? What's over here? All right. So in the right view, okay. Probably reuse this lab. Mm. You know what? First things first. Let's test it out. All right, that was Groovy and the Cool Kids coming at you smooth, groovy, oh so fruity. Up next we have Bunny and the Ladybugs, two angels from Cincinnati. Hmm. Maybe I got too many things open. Let's see if we can slow down that pace. Let's quit Slack. It's no disgrace. Spotify, don't ask me why. Blue jeans, you know what I mean. Zoom. Oh man, these fucking meetings apps get the fuck out of my life. Tangent, no, we'll keep that. Okay, so let's put you up there. Okay. So I'm gonna have to take this off and it's got my microphone, so too bad. Luxury glasses on. Virtual reality glasses on. Over there. Having out of body experience. That actually feels pretty good. Okay, so got the second camera turned on. Turn that off. Let's go. So a few other things I'm going to do is I'm going to add a. Oh, okay. So if anyone hasn't seen this at home, this like changes color based on. Oh, cool. Main thing's broken. Awesome. Feels good. I don't even think it needs to because anytime that you're pulling away suddenly is like, you're hearing that noise if you pull away suddenly, so it like goes to zero really quickly, which is actually good because then it's like it sounds a bit hellish. I'm gonna have to put my hair into virtual reality mode. You're welcome. So I have to make a side pony so that it goes through the headset properly. Meanwhile, my hand is having an existential crisis over there. Let's put it out of its misery. Alright. Virtual reality mode, I have to be there. Alright, this table's too hard, it's fine. Having tons of the same sound creates this very strange effect. You guys know. Give it a touch. For some reason the tables. It's creating this kind of I think we're gonna have to modify the pitch just to. So what's happening is basically all 5 of the sensors have their own touch audio, and when they're all playing at once, I think the actual audio is kind of interfering with itself, like in terms of the actual frequency. So I think I will have to change the pitch based on just randomize it. Randomize it. Oof. Also, why are these broken? No, these. Great. Change layers. Okay, that's pretty good. I actually don't think we need to lerp out the volume, because what's happening is as the hand is coming up close to the touch point, it's lerping back to 0. It's not even lerping, it's moving back to 0. And that's a good thing, because it's naturally doing the fade out as you move, and the only time it's really sudden is when you pull your hand back, which actually should feel pretty good. So we could do it that the pitch is just different for each finger. Let's just try that out. Oh, you guys can't hear me. Sorry. Oh, wait, control Z. I'll put this over here. Put this over here. Then it's like deving, and I'm over here, then I'm over here. Anyway, concentrate. Pitch. What to do with pitch? Speed was good. So what this does is it gets the speed of the actual object moving, no buffer. Modifies it by the roughness, which I don't even remember what it fucking means. Ah, that's where the buffer comes from. It like lerps it up because it was too juddery, I'm assuming. That's why it had that like because it would have this kind of consistent ramp. Okay, how are we doing there? Can you smooth follow a single float? Okay, so pitch is a property. Let's swap these around. So what I'm trying to do is just create, well, this idea of haptics, but like auditory haptics and visual haptics, I guess. Create responses in the environment to the players' interactions. And the more organic and connected to their actual physical movements, the more real it feels, even if it's not necessarily accurate. I think, I hope. So pitch is a value from 3 and -3. But I don't think we're ever going to want to go so 1.2 would be the range. So let's just say, maybe let's make a new handle. This seems done. I think what was happening was because it wasn't loading. Right, let's go. I don't like. Fuck. What I want is to just to do a smooth follow with just one variable. Vector 1. Smooth damp. Float dot smooth. Float dot smooth. No. Vector 1 dot smooth. Vector 1 doesn't exist. Vector 2 dot smooth. Yeah, of course I will. Would it be hacky to hijack a vector smooth? Yeah, alright, let's do it. Fuck it. Magnitude. Vector 3, lazy, smooth. new vector 3. No, it's got to be a better way to do this. Why don't we like this? Let's try the existing stuff. This is essentially a smooth. It's just not. I guess it doesn't ease is the problem. Let's check it out. Check it out. This other thing, what did it do? I don't know. I think it lerped down the target volume if the target volume changed. Okay. This useless code. Oh, you're looking at the wrong screen. Sorry, guys. You just missed out on me hacking. Let's get there. Oh, that looks alright. No, right there. Camera 1, camera 2. It's very fun. Cool. Frozen Unity. There we go. Let's close this as well. Alright, I'm mumbling again. There's one thing from the stream that I watched was that I mumbled so much. Mumbled and really ungraciously slurped my coffee. Okay, so what are we hoping for here? Anything? Why is it making no noise? It's not good. It's opposite what we wanted. Alright guys, we're going backwards. Why has that stopped working? That's also a problem. No, you know what? I probably fucking. Alright. Maybe the pitch is set to like -1 billion. What's this little hand mean? Oh. Okay, pitches. Pitches, pitching. So you can lock the inspector on something so you can then interact with other stuff. Let's see. Pitch seems too high. No one's moving that fast. In theory, makes sense. They'll all be moving at the same speed. Oh, you know what? Still going through the Oculus headset. Okay, it's not that cooked. That's good. Ramp up. So this is the changing color because we're colliding with stuff. Still not perfect though. Sounds like a fucking jet engine. The volume's definitely way too loud. Let's see if we can fuck around with this audio file. Audition. That's pretty good. Like, still not quite where I want it. It sounds less harsh in headset because the sensors are hitting at different times. Maybe what I should do is tilt the hand so there's a bit more variance with the sensor behavior. Let's put that in quote. Okay, and pitch needs to get set to 0 in touch because it ramps up and then it doesn't keep ramping down. Set audio volume. Make it alert. If it's higher, then lerp it there. If it's lower, lerping's better. Why is lerping better? Is lerping different to this? I think lerping is different to that. Let's try a lerp. Hey there, Groovy Cats. See you. Welcome to the Sam Development Hour, where we enjoy ourselves and we just play some smooth jazz, make some smooth code. Hey, let's just try setting this pitch back to 1, alright? Sometimes things just want to be where they were. While we're at it, let's switch this to a lerp. So, it's gonna be a dumb way to do this, but it's right. A dumb way to do it, but it's wrong. So let's see if we can figure that out. Okay, hey there, movie cats. Let's have a little bit of a search. Smooth flow value. VR. No, not VR. VR. Is it a lerp? What do we want to do? We want to have it follow. Alright, you know, we'll do a lerp. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding to the value incrementally as increments of time. So it's fixed. It's not fixed because it's time.delta time is how many milliseconds have passed since the last frame. So it's adding a variable amount. But what that essentially means is that it's consistently adding the same amount. Really want to get this to add faster. The faster they're going, the bigger the gap is. That's a lerp. All right, okay, I'm doing a lerp. So the lerp is called interpolation, where it interpolates between two numbers. mathf.lerp. But I'm going to do something I don't like doing, which is lerp. Rough.pitch to what? To this value. It's always lerp to it. Okay. So it equals itself lerping to from itself to another number. And the increment I'll just use time.delta time. I only know this because I remember telling someone off for doing this because it's dodgy. You don't even really need to check. It just keeps doing it until it can't anymore. Oof, it's time for a break. I'm gonna keep going for like another 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Get this sound right, and then that'll be the end of the stream. If it does not equal, which it never can. Look, let's just see. Just want it to be a little bit smoother, baby. We don't want anything crazy. Maybe that's not real. Never equal itself. It'll be forever halving its value. Oh, okay. Alright. Look, that sounds terrible. It still has that weird jet engine effect, but no one's going to do this while they're straight away. Alright, let's have a listen, see how that looks in VR. Hey, let's check it out. One advice for any aspirational VR devs is check, check, check. Check everything you do. Because you'll never know when the next bug is coming for you. Make sure you got your virtual reality SDK turned on, or else you will have a reason to mourn. So listening to jazz while I'm doing this has completely changed my personality for the better. Alright, I'm gonna not have a mic for a few minutes because I have to go in here. I will forget. Oh, hang on, it crashed anyway. Get a few more minutes of my smooth, dulcet, and sultry voice. Ooh, it's almost like you don't have a choice. But enjoy this smooth jazz. So the reason I'm listening to this like fucking buttermilk jazz bullshit is uh, it's royalty free and I couldn't be bothered figuring any other solution out. Though I do commit to a few things. I'm going to get a full synthesizer rack and make soundscapes while I'm working. Oh shit, hang on, I opened the wrong project. One that is very uh, um, what's the word? It's under a heavy NDA. Um, I need to make this technical difficulties again. Uh, Please wait. Uh, Hang on. So the way I'm like treating this is it's sort of like my own variety hour. I've got like multiple cameras. Not, I didn't buy them for this. I just have like various types of multi-dimensional sensors around the room. I can switch between views and modes. So it's like my own little morning talk back development show. Um, I'm gonna have special guests. I'm gonna have skits, puppets. I'm gonna have uh, multi-dimensional. Oh fuck! Did I just do it again? I did, didn't I? I'm just like on autopilot to open the same thing. I've been opening the same program for. I guess I can turn the camera on. The stream isn't broken. I just can't show you what I'm working on, but I will be able to show you what I'm working on very soon, and it's going to blow your mind. I had what I would say is a well, I've worked on the bit that I worked on is cool. Like it's the coolest thing I've ever worked on, and I'd say it's only 5% of what makes it cool. So put that in your pipe and sell it to your grandfather. Happy Easter, happy Egg Day. Soon we will be free of soon we will be free of the tyranny of the bunny. Hope everyone's doing alright in quarantine. Hope they're not putting too much pressure on themselves, but also not putting enough pressure on themselves. You know, you still gotta keep moving, but you've got to find your balance. All right. So that crashed. It is worrying to me that it keeps crashing. So today I have Friday off, so we're doing 4-day weeks for the moment, just slowing down a little bit, just for the situation basically. Um, so I have the whole day off. So normally I'm finishing the stream up and I'm about to start an 8 to 12 hour work day. Whereas today I'm going to have a coffee and read a book and have a groovy morning. All right. All right. I can't listen to jazz anymore. Okay. So this isn't a good sign. Every time I press play, Unity crashes. That usually means I've cooked something. Um, but you guys didn't come to see me win. You came to see me fight. So I'm trying to not say guys because I think it's a bit alienating to people that don't identify with that, including me. I don't feel like I'm one of the guys. I don't like being called lumped in with a bunch of uh, blokes, fellas, mates. Maybe golden spirits, um, ephemeral ephemeral arteries. That'd be a cool name for like a fucking kind of like hippie prog band. Um, why is this crashing? Build settings, player settings. We definitely are in the right mode. Maybe because okay, the quest is conked out. It'll reboot. Oh, yeah, cool. It's fully cooked itself. My favorite part of well, my career has just been that I've somehow managed to find a way to work with like just the latest bleeding edge of this stuff, and it's always so cooked. But I really love like debugging stuff and figuring out why stuff doesn't work, and so it's like most people would be like their nightmare, and it's like find the thing that is everyone else's nightmare that you love doing. And for me, it's just like concentrating on problems for like 12 hours a day. Though I am part of the reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to be accountable to making sure I'm spending a good part of that time being creative and actually making stuff because it's really easy to just like get addicted to problem solving essentially, um, and forget what you're trying to actually do, which for me is make interesting new forms of art that make people think I'm cool at parties. Well, that was my original motivation. People do think it's cool, but then I get really uncomfortable because I don't want to seem like a show off, very Australian thing to do. So I tend to just keep it to myself. Um, uh, but I do want to. It's funny because I do like to motivate people to be like, hey, you can, um, whatever thing you think is cool, you can also do. It just takes a lot of hard work. It's not some magic attribute that means you can be a VR dev or a painter or a fucking outsider artist, electro engineer, whatever. You just have to be willing to spend a bit of time each day doing that instead of the thing that you're doing instead. Um, and look, it'd be great to quest home. It'd be great to be like a sort of legacy, comes from money, doesn't have to work as much kind of person that doesn't have to have a job and things like that. But you probably wouldn't be as hungry to do something different and new if you were that person. So maybe it's not the end of the world. Ooh, I got that disembodied hand situation going on, which I quite like. What's going on here? Oh, look at them spicy. Oh man, that feels so much better. We did it, guys. We made something that feels good. Hey, Groovy Cats, that feels really good to touch. All right, so I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna give everyone a demo. I really wish you could hear what I could hear. But I'm gonna put a video up afterwards, so this will be more of a visual presentation. Okay, I'm going in. Also, to do my disclaimer from before, my microphone is on these headphones, so I won't be able to say anything. I will forget that and start talking. So sorry in advance. This tape is too high. So the general idea is that things have different temperatures. So this isn't pulling the color from it, it's pulling a temperature value. I just have this set. So imagine this is like a frosty can of beer. and this is like a hot frying pan. Ouch! Why am I doing this? Got nothing better to do. So far, yeah, we've added the temperature, so it responds to the temperature. Oh, yeah, so this is the Oculus Quest hand tracking. This is cool. This is something. So this is purely being tracked by my Quest, and it's putting my hands in the digital space. The tracking is incredible. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, you can't combine your hands and do gestures. My instinct is always to break things. Oh, you could make a bongo simulator. Oh. Anyway, ignorant, stupid idea. So we've got the mesh gets affected by the temperature of the object. It also like leaves a trail of touch, which kind of represents, I guess, dust, but also like that sort of afterglow of touch that you have. I'm trying to like simulate the physical properties of touch that are missing. So that's so cool. Stanch. So next thing I'm gonna do is put a still maybe a bit loud. It definitely feels a lot better. Maybe I'll just modify the volume. Let's modify the volume. One is too loud. The best thing about working with normals, so 0 to 1 values, is not normals as in. I just forgot, you can't hear me. Look, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna be tweaking some values, so feel free to ride along, but I think we've got a good spot. How's that? Is that any better? Let's check my levels. Check. Yeah, that'll do. So let's just max the volume, set a cap on the volume to. Let's set a cap on that bar. To. Where do I set the volume? Get pressure normalized. Volume. Handle touch start pressure. Get pressure normalized times 0.8. So you can just keep using essentially. May as well call this 180%. This is like percentages essentially, but you just keep it as a 0 to 1, so you don't have to convert it back and forth. Basically, it's funny. I learned all about like normalizing values when I did like data analytics for a fucking marketing company. It's funny the things that leave footprints in your mind that can then be turned into another type of boot. All right. Still too loud, I'd say. It's almost like the volume needs to be modified by the speed of the distance as well. Because it's not so much about the being in there. Like once you've stuck your hand in there, it doesn't keep going. These can obviously be combined, but I'm just going to run them separately for the moment because they're doing different things. Take this off. So it's almost like the Z. Alright, so current plus relative joint equals so what the inverse transform point? No, I want like it's like okay. Alright, I think I'm cooking. Get this is like the direction, distance, not distance between vectors. It's not the distance. It's like the how do you subtract one vector from another? Subtract one vector from another. C sharp. Just tell me. Equals transform dot position minus joint. So, what are we working with here? We get the joint. Here we go. We're already getting it, but then we're getting the magnitude. So this is the something or other. Oh yeah, sorry, this is vector. Vector 3 is an array of 3 numbers, usually used for coordinates. Current sensor relative joint. Rate of change sensor joint equals current sensor relative joint minus last sensor relative joint. So this is getting the dot magnitude. What's wrong with that? Oh yeah. Gets distance from the between joint and sensor. Yeah, so pretty much all of this could get combined into one at some point. That's right. Gets I guess this is called a direction. I'm pretty sure. Gets direction, aka can be used for speed. Gets magnitude, so amount of change. Sets. Let's actually do it first. So basically what you're doing here is comparing the current frame value to the last frame value. So you store the current frame as the last frame at the end of the frame or at the end of the method. So that speed, I could just modify that. Is it ever going to be much? It's probably going to be fuck all. So um, well, we know this gives us about a range of 0 to 0.2. So let's just say times 10,000. Basically, this speed will be super small. So that'll be 0 to 1. Hopefully, we'll find out. I'm getting maybe, and then this roughness after pressure, which we're not using. Um, so let's just comment it out. Something we're using. Um, sets current frame, current value to last to use on the next frame. This is super common pattern. And then let's just say distance from sensor equals itself modified by this rate of change value. Is this the same songs on repeat? Oh my god, you guys missed out on me doing some fucking good code. All right, I'll talk you through it. Gets the distance from the sensor, which is essentially the magnitude, which is one vector minus the other vector, comes up with another vector, and then the dot magnitude is the value between them. A few of these could be combined into one, actually, because this was something I wrote before, but I've just done it again. So current sensor pros relative to the joint is its position minus the joint's position, which gives you a vector. I think it's called the direction. I always get a bit confused by that. Rate of change to sensor joint subtracts this value from its current direction compared to the last direction. So basically does this again, gets the magnitude of that. I then modify it by like a bajillion. Actually, no, so that's not where I should do that modification. That'll cook it. Oh, I just need to times it by 10,000 because it's going to be a really small number. So I need it to come to a 0 to 1 range-ish. And then it stores its current position as its last position, so it can then do that comparison again on the next frame. So hopefully the speed will come out as a roughly 0 to 1 value, and it will then modify the pressure at the same time. Will it? I think this might have cooked it. We'll find out. I probably should have committed first. Should have had a break. Let's find out. Okay, if this cooks it, whatever. So let's lock one of these sensor values in. Coffee's nearly finished. The jazz is nearly over. Good sesh. Why is it maximizing to do that? Okay, so we can see the volume here. We want it to like start low. We should probably have that default to low. And stay low. Okay, that's that. Is it going up? It does try to go up. Okay, all right. Region idea for modifying idea for modifying pressure by speed needs some thought in region. Actually, let's not make that the region. It's pretty dumb. region speed mod on pressure. That's all commented out. Okay. So I reckon I'm going to try a build. Actually, while we're here, let's set things up properly. Unlock. Get it at floor level. Let's get this at the floor. It's kind of disconcerting having it sort of appear in space. Is that 0? It should be 0. Fuck, why doesn't everyone make the floor 0? Okay. And pull it back a little bit. And let's bring everything down. Alright, I'm about ready for a break, so... Okay. So now we do two things. We commit, not that. Switched sound to set volume by pressure. Probably needs to be volume modified by speed of change from joint. Okay, commit, that is it. And build. Alright, this is a little bit like, let's call that 0.4. Let that tag be 0.0.4. Yeah, so look, this is a bit of a, if this was a cooking show, I'm putting it in the oven kind of thing. What we did today was, no, oh, whoops, whoopsies. Transform, flip, vertical again. Let's go to this view anyway. So yeah, what we did today was played around with how the properties of sound. So obviously we've got two exposed properties in Unity. One is pitch, ooh, and one is volume. So how can we pick up the user's interactions with the how can we pick up the user's interactions with the digital space and then translate them to feedback essentially. So what we're playing around with is the at the collision point, the deeper the hand goes, the louder it gets. It feels a lot better. It feels a lot more organic than it did before, because as you pull out, it gets quieter. But when you stay in there, it's like, so there's no movement. So it needs to also be modified by the speed. Oh yeah, it should just be modified by the speed. We already have the speed value. All right, cool. This is a good time to have a break for me anyway. So thanks for watching. That's me. Hope you have a good day.